You're listening to Health Professional Radio. My name is Wayne Buckler, and my guest today is John Bamborough. John's the Training Manager of Health and Community Services at Education Institute. John, welcome to Health Professional Radio.
Thank you, Wayne. Pleasure to be here.
Now, John, Education Institute sort of gives away what you do, but tell us, what are your products and services?
Education Institute is a registered training organisation. We've been in operation for a decade now. Mm-hmm. One of our core functions is providing qualifications, short courses, and different training products to health and community services. As such, at this point, when we have a strong profile in operating theatre technician qualification, aged care qualification, home and community care qualification, and pathology. We also are in the child studies field, early childhood education and care, so we have quite a strong profile in there too.
And John, what's your geographic footprint? Where do you service?
We service Victoria mainly, however, our strongest profile would be fair to say, in metropolitan Melbourne. However, we do work regionally across Victoria.
I see. Now, the courses that you were mentioning before, are they typical short courses, or are they certificate 3 and 4 level courses, or what sort of education and training are we talking?
The Operating Theatre Technician is a Certificate 3 course. It's an entry-level course. I think it's fair to say it's one of our strongest products. We have very strong partnerships with a number of the major hospitals and health service providers in metropolitan Melbourne who hold our course and our graduates in very high regard. Our graduates have a fantastic success rate in securing employment as a consequence of completing their qualification. I think last year we were at about 97%, which is something we're very proud of and constantly look to build upon. We've just entered into an agreement with HealthScope. That agreement is very much about providing HealthScope with students for student practical placements, clinical placements, often from which, of course, job opportunities do arise, and it's a great opportunity for that health provider to have a look at that student and to determine whether they think they may have a future in their particular facilities. We'd also work quite closely with Royal Melbourne Hospital, Epworth, and the Austin too. So we do have a strong profile with this qualification with those particular providers. Pathology is a relatively new course for us. We just commenced that last year. It's Certificate 3 and Certificate 4. Mm-hmm. However, we're quickly building a reputation again for providing quality education and graduates who are what the industry are looking for. We take very seriously not only building the skills and knowledge of the graduates, the students, but also working very hard to ensure that the graduate has the right kind of attitude for the health industry. Speaking
of that, John, what's the key message that you would want clinicians to take away from you? Because when you mentioned attitude there, I thought that would be something that would be important in the health sector. But let me not answer the question for you. What's the key message that you have for clinicians who may be listening to us?
The key message for me is, in this current day and age, training is vitally important in producing the next generation of workers. What we're looking for constantly are clinicians who want to develop the types of partnerships that enable us to provide service to the community. And the more we can nurture and the more we can develop partnerships with clinicians, what we're seeing is that has a knock-on effect in terms of us being able to provide the type of training that produces graduates that the industry are really looking for. And, you know, in this day and age, as I'm sure you're aware, Wayne, registered training organizations in the vet space have come under a lot of scrutiny. Mm-hmm. Quite rightly so, because there have been a lot of vet providers who haven't been following the rules. But my message to clinicians is don't lose faith, because there are providers out there who work ethically and who are passionate about what we do. And that passion is about providing service to community and also providing the types of graduates that these clinicians not only want, but need.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing, and we take that very seriously.
And John, my favourite question in every interview, in every industry there are misconceptions. What's the biggest misconception amongst your customers, clients, students that drives you nuts and keeps you awake at night?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think the biggest issue for me at this point in time is the sense that competency-based training seems to have let the industry down. And I mean that in terms of let the industry down because of poor practices. And again, that goes back to the question I referred to just a little earlier about how, in fact, the vet sector is under a lot of scrutiny at the moment for poor practice. And there is a perception in the industry that we have let the industry down. And to some extent, I agree with that. But on the other hand, of course, there are organizations such as Education Institute who are doing the right thing, who follow the rules and who are very ethical in the type of training that they provide. And, you know, for me, I am working very hard to restore the faith that I want the health industry to have in registered training organizations such as Education Institute. Because that will then pave the way for clinicians to get on board and to actually work in partnership with us. And a really good example of that is in a few weeks from now, we have a think tank organized, inviting most of the head techs from the major hospitals around metropolitan Melbourne to come to us and to help us brainstorm what the next new qualification in operating theatre technician will look like, and to talk to us about, you know, what their workforce development needs are over the next 3 to 5 years, so we can structure this course in a way that makes sure we meet their needs and meet their workforce demand. They're the types of partnerships I mean, and they really are the way forward for us. And so as well as it's keeping me awake at night, I also have a vision, and the team that I'm surrounded by also have a vision, and that's to do the right thing and to produce graduates that the industry value.
John, with a little bit of luck today, we'll be able to help with restoring some of that faith as a result of our broadcast. It's been a pleasure having you with me. John Bamborough is the Training Manager of Health and Community Service at Education Institute. John, how do people get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me via my mobile, 0478 041 548. They are welcome to email me, john@ai.edu.au.
And just mention for us again that website, John.
The email, john@ai.edu.au.
And the phone number was 0478 041 548. Thank you very much for your time today, John. For listeners who may have missed my conversation with John Bamborough, of Education Institute, the training manager of Health and Community Services there. The good news is we have a transcript on our website. We also have a full archive of this interview, the audio from this interview, on YouTube and on SoundCloud. My name is Wayne Buckler, and you're listening to Health Professional Radio.